talk about Scottish independence, John Oliver, and voter turnout. But first, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Davy Jones! Have a seat. Alright, so Scottish independence, why do they want to separate?
Well, basically, England and Scotland have very two different heritages. The English, they drink their tea, eat their crumpets, and everything's fine. The Scottish, they make their haggis and blow their bagpipes and be all annoying. Secondly, England is a very conservative area, and Scotland is very liberal, and those two don't mix well. And when your older brother's been beating up on you for the past 600 years, things don't work out too well.
I couldn't agree with you more, David. Okay, well, more on this story, we're going to go to Matt and Asa.
Hello everyone, I'm Matt.
And I'm Asa.
And we're here to expand upon the story already given to you by Mark and David. So, Scottish independence. Well, in the end it all came down to a vote between two campaigns. Yes Scotland and Better Together. Yes Scotland was the party that campaigned for Scotland to become an independent country, while Better Together believes that Scotland would be better together with England.
That's right, and it came down to the wire, with Better Together winning with 55% of the vote. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty tight margin.
Quite.
Now, the most interesting fact about this referendum is that 85% of the population voted.
85%, that's quite a bit.
That's almost 4 million people in a tiny little country.
Quite small.
It's the most, in fact, the highest percentage since 1918 when they enacted universal suffrage, the vote for women.
Quite an important event right there.
That's right.
Well, that's all for now. Back to the studio.
For more on Canadian youth voting.
Thanks for the stats, guys.
Yep, they were pretty interesting, eh? So, Canada itself pales in comparison to Scottish voting.
You know, Canadians suck at this voting game compared to the Scots.
You know, in the last federal election, only 60% of registered voters bothered to vote, and only 40% of youth voters showed up. How do you feel about this?
Honestly, not that great. I hear a lot of Canadians in the streets complain about our government, different parties, different party leaders, different politicians, and honestly, I don't think they have a right to complain unless they bother to show up on election day.
Now, I feel that the lack of youth voters is due to the fact that the government doesn't cater to them as they do the baby boomers. Now, what needs to happen is to break the vicious circle of people not voting and the government not caring, is those youth voters need to vote to have their voices heard in the government. So, anyway, that's it on voting. We're going to send it off to Matthew on John Oliver.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Matt, and I'm here on one of the world's most comfiest couches to bring you a little review of the John Oliver video. Now, as you know, the John Oliver video was sort of the premise for this entire vlog, and the reason we chose to respond to this video is frankly because it's pretty funny. John Oliver has a distinct style that borders on news reports and comedy, and so we found that style really meshes them and blends them together in the right way that made it enjoyable for us to watch and do research and think about on. You know, it's a really solid video overall. There's a link in the annotation below. It's a bit long, so make sure you have about 15 minutes of spare time if you decide to watch it. But the video also really made us think. So the part that made me think was when they were he mentioned the statistics for the polls. Now, as you know, earlier we mentioned that Better Together won by 10%. However, in the poll, I think it was a week previously, it was given out, 51% of the interviewed people said that they were going to vote for Yes Scotland rather than Better Together. So, as you can see, the results were quite different. So, that really made me think about, you know, what would have made people either change, or, you know, in general, things like that. Something else I'd really like to say, however. I'm considering moving to Scotland. That way I can say, my national animal is the unicorn. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.